So then we're going to look at essential tools that's needed as part of a maintenance service. So if you have a look on picture on the right hand side, you can see a collection of things that I take out to me when I'm doing some heat pump servicing. So I've got my step ladders, I've got bucket and beaker, I've got spray cleaner and cleaning agents for the heat pump and condenser coil. I've got electrical testers, which is a multimeter and an amp probe. You can get one that's combined if you want, but you are going to need these two things: adjustable spanners, screwdrivers, temperature probes, various cleaning brushes, a pressure vessel gauge, a pressure vessel pump, a refractor for glycol, and most importantly, I always say, a manual for equipment that you're working on. What you tend to find is a lot of these heat pumps tend to be in remote areas, so you can struggle to either get through to technical services if you need them, or even download any manuals. And it's always good to have a little read about the equipment that you're working on before you go out to it, because it's always the controls and how they're set up. It's always the biggest factor that can throw you off. So on arrival to site, first thing is ask if owner if everything's been okay. I always think this is important, because one of the main things we've found when people have contacted us and as a business says, can you come out and do a maintenance visit on my heat pump, it's because it's already broke, and a lot of people can expect to do a maintenance visit and fix a problem. So it's always important to make sure that everything's okay. I've asked them when they phone or they contact you, or when you get to site, just make sure has everything been okay. The other thing is as well is people generally don't want you tromping all over the house looking at everything, so it's always good to ask if there's any problems with heat around the home. If they say no, heat's okay, radiators are working, underfloor heating, then generally you don't need to go around that stuff, because people, they just don't want you walking around everywhere in the house unless there's a problem. So you're going to have a visual inspection and a walk around of the system. You're going to check the system operation is operating with no errors before you start. Like I said, this is a must. Even if they say everything's okay, you need to make sure that it is okay, just to make sure it's working. I'm going to go through all this in my slides anyway. I'm just doing a quick itinerary of what happens, and then we'll go through it all in more detail. So you're going to go up to the controller, you're going to get a summary of settings and write down how it's running now, the set points, any time schedules that it's running at, just so that obviously you're going to be fiddling with it as part of your maintenance visit. You want to be able to put it back as you found it. So I always think, the first thing you're going to do is write down everything that you see when you get there. You're going to look at the hot water temperature setting and measure it against actual temperature. You're going to look at the domestic hot water temperature setting and measure that versus actual temperature coming out of taps. Make sure that that's all right. You're going to look at and document any time schedules, and then you're going to look and check at any Legionella settings, and again write them all down. It's always important to take a snapshot of the system when you get there, so you can make sure that you can put it back exactly as you found it when you're finished. Then we're going to be looking at mechanical tasks. So you're going to inspect and clean the heat pump. You're going to check integrity, refrigerant pipework and lagging. So you're just going to have a look around installation, see if you can see any major problems that you need to report to them. You're going to check for any signs that might indicate refrigerant leak. I suppose that is kind of bespoke to refrigeration engineers if they go out and do this. You're going to check and clean any water filters, check glycol levels and record the findings, check the air valves and release any air. You're going to check the unvented safety equipment like the TMP valves and tundishers, check water pressure and expansion vessels. You're going to check the immersion heater, monitor operation in heating and hot water mode, and then discuss with the owner and document any changes that you need to make. So we've had a quick itinerary of what happens on there. So what I've done is over the years, I've got a collection of photos on my phone, and I've put them all together so you can see some pictures of real life heat pumps that I've gone out and worked on, and I was lucky enough to document at that time, so I could show you, what I found when I were out there and how I did certain tasks. So let's go through it all in